staple to any American diet is a delicious flat iron steak. This wonderful piece of meat is crusted in a cast iron skillet and basted in butter to completion. The ingredients that will be needed for this recipe include thyme, garlic, rosemary, salt, whole black peppercorns, olive oil, salted butter, and a ribeye steak, preferably 1 to 1.5 inches thick. You will also need the following equipment: a cast iron skillet, an oven mitt or something of that nature, a pepper grinder, a cutting board, a pair of metal tongs, a metal spoon, and a chef's knife. Optional pieces of equipment include a garlic press and a meat thermometer of your choosing. You will also need a stovetop and a refrigerator with ample space for the steak. Our first step is to prepare the steak for brining. Make sure your steak is dry of any juices from the package. Next, apply a thin coat of extra virgin olive oil to the exterior of the steak using a paper towel. Seasoning is up to the individual preference of the cook, but I recommend 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of black pepper to each side. Make sure to get any of the remaining seasoning with the edge of your steak. Place the steak in the refrigerator uncovered for at least 1 hour, all the way up to a day. 20 to 30 minutes before you are ready to cook, take the steak out and let it sit. In the meantime, you can prepare your garlic. Peel the outer skin off of the garlic. Next, pull the individual cloves off the center stem. They should look something like this. Now take the flat edge of a blade and press down firmly on the garlic. Now peel off the remaining skin and set aside. They should look like this. Now take your butter and cut it into individual tablespoon pieces. You will need at least 4. Now you are ready to start cooking. Turn on medium heat under your cast iron skillet. Pour 1 tablespoon of olive oil into the pan and spread to a coat with a paper towel. Now while you let your pan heat up, you can prepare your thyme. Take the stems of thyme and gently roll them between your fingers, separating the leaves from the stem. Be careful not to collect any of the pieces of stem. Wait until your pan is just starting to steam the oil. When your pan is sufficiently heated, you may now lay your steak in carefully. Sear on each side for 45 seconds. You should have a beautiful brown crust with tinges of orange, like so. Turn the heat down to medium-low. It's time to prepare the baste. Add 3 tablespoons of butter evenly around the pan. Now take some rosemary and place it on either side of the steak. Sprinkle your thyme around and on the meat. If you do not have a garlic press, now would be the time to crush the whole cloves under the flat edge of a knife. Add the whole clove to the pan, making sure it is split open. If you have a garlic press, crush the garlic into the pan. Make sure to scrape any excess off with your knife. Now you can start physically basting. Use an oven mitt or some heat-resistant hand cover to tilt the pan and pull the butter in one side of the pan. Scoop up the baste with the metal spoon and pour the liquid over the steak. You only need to baste for about 20 seconds every 2 minutes or so. Add butter as needed. Keep a sufficient amount of butter in the bottom of the pan to easily baste your steak. Flip your steak often with the tongs to keep the surfaces from burning. Continue this process for about 15 to 20 minutes or until the steak is at your preferred level of complete. You can easily check your temperature by using this trick. Hold your hand out and feel the muscle under your thumb. By moving your thumb to different angles, you can feel the physical toughness of the steak and its likeness in your muscle. Make sure to use a clean finger to feel the steak. Don't burn yourself. Use the tongs if necessary. If you do not feel comfortable with this trick, feel free to use a meat thermometer, sticking it into the thickest part of your steak. Once your steak is done, set it on a clean cutting board. Carefully slice the steak into thin strips. If you need, you can cut thicker slices. If your steak is not as done as you desire, note that extremely rare or deep red meat can be harmful if ingested. You can place the slices back into the hot butter in your pan. This only needs to be done for about 10 to 15 seconds on each side. Once your slices are as done as you like them, you can pour your hot butter over your steak and enjoy. This ribeye steak is a delicious source of protein for meat lovers. If your steak isn't where you want it to be, that's okay. Cooking is an art and takes time to master. Pull this recipe out anytime you feel like you could do with some practice.